This morning. And Jackie, today is shaping up to be one of the busiest travel days of the holiday week. In fact, at 5 o'clock, we showed a live look at Reagan National, and we saw a lot of headlights already at that early hour.
And what we're seeing right now, well, some of that rush, although it slowed down somewhat. If I just take a look at the security line on this side, this is Terminal 2, right? It's probably 5-10 minutes, not actually that bad at this moment, but you know how it is, it ebbs and flows out here. Now, as far as cancellations, when I was looking at the big board, I counted about 16 of these flights that were canceled. You can see some of those destinations as we head back over here. Atlanta, Boston, some of these primarily on the eastern board here, but there's also Dallas. But that wasn't as bad as it was yesterday because there were 289 flights that were canceled. It seemed like that had a lot to do with the weather, and we're still seeing some of those impacts right now. But this morning, AAA projects more than 72 million Americans, as we mentioned, will travel 50 miles or more for the holiday, a 2% increase from last year. The majority of people are going to drive, 60 million, potentially because of gas prices being lower than last summer. Now, airports, as we're seeing with the crowds here, nearly 6 million passengers are expected to fly. That's also an increase, 8% more than last year. And well, lines could take a little longer at security if you don't have the right ID.
Those without real ID, they can expect just a little bit longer of a period in the checkpoint with additional screening. Beyond that, if you've got either a real ID or an acceptable form of ID, like a passport, for sure bring that. And what we're seeing, thankfully, at most of the airports around here is that over 90% of the passengers coming through have either a DMV issued real ID or an acceptable form of ID like a passport.
Now, again, out here, the lines are kind of moving quickly. We are seeing a slight rush out here, but the goal from TSA, they tell us, is that they want to get people through these lines within about 10 minutes. But something else to keep in mind, the busiest times, obviously today, the busiest for the travel. However, just in our area, it looks like July 4th will be the busiest along the US 50 from Annapolis to DC around 11 a.m. You know that there's a big fireworks show out here. And so a lot of people from all over do come into the DC area. But overall, for drivers, the busiest days on the roads are expected to be, again, from today all the way into July 7th. So we'll continue to stay here at the airport and check to see how flights are impacted and how travel is going for now. I'll send it back to you guys.
All right, Jackie, thank you so much. Curious where everyone's going. Maybe to the beach?